Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Purja session. We are into exception handling, and yesterday we have seen try with resources with example. So the example what we have seen is this is the example we have seen yesterday. Okay, where we have seen try catch finally. We have debugged this code as well. Okay, how child parent relation is there? How we can pass file reader inside buffer reader, how we can pass string in, why we are passing string into file reader, why we are passing file reader into buffer reader, and how we are handling the exception. Okay, if the collection is open, how to close this connection using finary block. We have seen this. Okay, now why we have seen this? To understand try with resource. Now you are good with this example that how to close the connection. What is the importance of finary block? But we see how much line of code we required. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something, right? This much line of code we required to close this buffer reader. This buffer reader. So, so it try with resource give the benefit. How we can write try with resource? This is try. Okay. And this is your catch block. Simple. Here we need to open the resource and close the resource. What is my line of code? I can write this complete line of code where here. Try to observe in this class. First, this is try. Let's say this is exception. This is exception, right? Now, save this. Come here. Format this. Perfectly fine, right? Now, just how we can write this code also. I am showing you now. Try to observe. Buffered B reader. I am optimizing the code. Okay. I am optimizing the code. Then we will use try with resource. Buffered B reader is equal to new buffer reader. Okay. Let me copy this complete code. Copy this. Paste here. Paste here. Okay. Now I want to optimize this code. First, I will optimize. How I can optimize? Okay. Instead of this file reader, can I pass completely string inside this? Because we need to pass string na. Let me copy this, and directly paste here na. Try to observe what I am doing. How to optimize the code. Not only exception only, how to optimize the code. So why I required this? Not required, right? Remove this. Okay. Perfectly fine, right? And instead of this, can I copy this part and place in, because this is buffer reader. Can I pass directly in buffer reader here? Try to observe, guys. One line is shortened, right? No. Can I directly pass like this? Can I directly pass like this? Yes, that is also fine, right? So I don't require line number 13 also. Remove this. Okay. So in one line only buffer reader, we have file reader, and inside file reader we have string, right? In one line. Now try to observe what I am trying to do is copy this and place here in line number 13. Place here line number 13. Buffer reader. Hmm. Now this is also fine, right? Now let me remove line number 10. Now this is fine, right? Can I remove instead of finary block? Can I use try with resource? Yes. Just use this small bracket. Place this code inside this. Inside this. and remove your finally block. Select this, where we have to click. This is open curly brace. Place cursor in front of it. Double click. It will select that area and do Control D. Perfectly fine, right? Now try to observe. This is try with resource. What it will do? We have opened the resource. We have reading the we are having the file path. We are having the file path. We are placing in file reader. File reader we are placing in buffer reader. Buffer reader is open. Once this logic is done in try block, automatically it is be closed. Now try to observe the both code. Now try to observe both side code. Left side is with try, catch, and finally. Finally is very important for closing statement. But in the right hand side, are we using finally block? No, we are using try with resource. Now the question is, if this is one resource, this is one resource. Now this is one resource. Can we place n number of resource? Yes. If you observe, this is one resource, right? Copy this part till this. This is the first resource, right? Copy this. Make enter. Make enter. Colon. Make enter. Paste another resource. In case you require more than one resource, I am giving B1. This variable will duplicate. That's why I want to place one more resource. Enter. Semicolon. Enter. Paste here. Let me give B2. How many resources are I am using? I am giving example of one resource, buffer reader only. Similarly, you will have database connection also na. You have something else also na. More than one resource, right? So automatically it will be used in your try logic. It will be used. It will be used, and after the try block is executed, the logic will executed from try block. Automatically, all the resources are going to close. Hope you are good. This is the block of trial. So whenever this logic is done, all the resources which are open automatically close. We don't require finite block. More than one resource we can able to use in this way. Hope you are good. Let me delete this. Delete this. Okay? Hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. Okay? This is the benefit of try with resource. Just compare, then you can easily understand the benefit of try with resource. Hope you are good. Okay? Now. Next concept is through versus throughs. The next concept is through and through. Okay? Now guys, just in simple word, we are trying to understand throws and throws keyword. Where to use, how to use, what is the benefit. No. Throw is the keyword, right? Now tell me guys, by seeing this simple program I am running in front of you, let me delete everything, try catch. Let me delete, and now let me do system dot out dot println, and I am doing 10 divided by 0. Simple program, right? Now I will run this program. What will be your output? Exception. Are we handling any exception? No, we are not handling any exception. The exception object is throw automatically by main method to JVM. Who is the caller to run this main method? JVM, right? So when we are not handling exception, right? So then what is happening? Main method is throwing this exception to JVM, right? So we can create our own object, exception object, and we can hand over to JVM by using throw keyword. We can create exception object, and we can hand over to JVM because JVM is the caller. So what is the meaning of throw keyword? Throw keyword T small. Throw is used to hand over the exception to JVM. Okay? Now the same program I am using, right? In this program, who is handover, who is doing handover to JVM? Main method, right? Instead of this, can I write like this? I'm using throw new arithmetic exception, new arithmetic exception. I'm doing something, this simple program, okay, exception, uh, throw example I'm giving. Okay, now let me remove this line. How to use throw keyword? This is the way to use throw keyword. Now let me run this program. So we are explicitly doing throw exception, right? So we are creating an exception object and we are giving to JVM. Okay. In this case, what we are doing, we are creating exception of object, arithmetic of exception object, and we are handling to hand over to JVM. So this is what we have to use. Okay. Now try to observe. When to use this? When to use this? We can use throw for customized exception, guys. Customized exception. Not for predefined. Not for predefined. When we are writing our own customized exception, then we have to write. Okay. Now try to observe. We'll see this. Okay. In customization of exception. Now try to understand. I am having one throw object. Okay. Let me create one very arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. When I create arithmetic exception object, because all these are classes now, we can use, right? We can create our own object. Arithmetic exception. Try to understand. I have created one arithmetic exception. Okay. Inside this main method. See, this is what change e to static. Okay. Because why? I want to show you something. It is static. So let me, for now, we will static keyword here. Format it. Try to observe. Try to observe. When I will run this output, what will be the output? Try to observe. Java.lang.arithmetic exception. Java.lang.arithmetic exception. Now, just I am removing one statement, guys. This part I am removing. Now tell me what should be the exception? Because what I am throwing arithmetic. What is E? E is of what type? Arithmetic exception. But we are trying to throw E only, right? Previously, when I am using arithmetic exception, E equal to new arithmetic exception, that time what came? Java.lang.arithmetic exception. But now, can we run this program? What we are getting now? Null pointer exception. Again, read this. When I am using this, what I am getting? Java.lang.arithmetic exception. Why, guys? Because arithmetic exception equal to new object. One object is there. Object is there. But when I am removing this line, this object is nothing. Object is not created. So E will have what? What E will hold? In this line, E is holding one object, arithmetic object. That's why it is throwing arithmetic exception. Because E is holding what? Is referring to one object which is arithmetic exception. But when I am removing this, right hand side, now what is the exception? Because arithmetic exception is holding null. What E is holding now? E is holding null. So when we are running this, what we are getting? Null pointer exception. Hope you are good. Hope you are understanding. These are very, very small thing, but very, very important concept. Okay? Now, apart from this, now, this is one use case, right? Now, another use case. I am using here one method. I'm having one, let me delete this. You understand this program, right? Now, let me delete this. Let me use this out statement. System dot out dot print ln. I am using again 10 divided by 0. 10 divided by 0. Okay. Now, can I use one more statement? Copy this, paste here. I am giving hello. 100% this line is not going to execute, right? Let me run this program. Right. Exception will come at line number 7. Till this you are good, right? Okay. What kind of exception? This is arithmetic exception. Can I use throw keyword? Okay. Can I use throw keyword? Let me add one throw keyword here. Whenever I am using throw keyword, let me use throw keyword throw. New arithmetic exception. New arithmetic exception. Try to understand what I'm explaining. Then you will understand. Something. Arithmetic exception I am giving. Okay? What is the compilation error? After using throw keyword, we cannot use any other statement. Unreachable code. So always, whenever we are having throw keyword, okay, then after throw keyword, we cannot use directly any statement. After throw statement, we can't take any statement directly. Okay, we can use something like if else. That is fine. If we are using if else, we are handling something. Maybe true or false, right? Some condition based on this. This is also unreachable. But if you are using some condition for this statement, then we can handle this. But after throw keyword statement, we cannot use any other statement. Okay, otherwise there will be compile time error. Okay. Now, this is predefined na. Control Shift H. Java.lang JDK 1.8. Open this. Now tell me guys, what is the hierarchy? Arithmetic exception. Who is the father? Runtime exception. Runtime exception. Who is the father? Exception. Exception parent class is what? Throwable. Who is the parent of throwable? Now try to understand what is this throwable. Okay? Now try to understand. I am clicking here on arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception is indirect child of throwable. Na? So we can use in this way. Now try to observe. Now try to observe. Is this test class is throwable? Try to understand the concept, guys. This is your object. This is your throwable class. Throwable can have exception as a child. Okay? This is runtime exception is a child class. Arithmetic exception is child class. Till this fine. Test class we are having. Test class we are having. Test class we are having. If no extend keyword means it is become indirect of child of object. But try to understand this is different level. This is different level na. This is another hierarchy, right? So we need to understand test is child of parent, but it is not related to throwable. Right? Now come here. So can we throw like this? Can we throw test object? No. Try to observe. What is the error? An exception type must be subclass of throwable. What I'm trying to throw? Test, new test. I want to throw some test. This something customization I am doing. Are we able to do? No. But if I will do extend keyword, anything extend, no problem. Extends any of the class. Take any of the child class. Let me use runtime exception. And I use this. Now error gone, right? Tests. Can I remove this word? Control X and then save. Error came, right? Error came. Can I paste again? Error gone. So what does this mean? We can throw our customized exception, that particular class, if it is of throwable type. If it is of throwable type, test is a child of, by using this extend runtime. Try to observe left hand side also. If I am extending test, extend runtime exception. So who is the parent of runtime exception? Exception. Who is the parent of exception? Throwable. So indirectly, exception class is throwable. Then runtime exception is also throwable. Who is the child of runtime exception now? Test. Why it become? Because I am using this line. Test extend runtime exception. Then only we can able to throw that particular class as an exception. Are you getting? So this is, we have to use customization of exception. What we are using for customization? We can write our own defined exception, but that class should be provable. Otherwise, we will get compile time error. Till now, we are good. Let me remove this. What is showing error? What is showing? No exception of type test can be thrown, and as exception type must be subclass of throwable. Right? Till now, you are good, right? Okay. So you understand throw, right? we can create exception object and we can hand over to JVM. For that purpose, we are using throw. We can customize exception, not for predefined. Customize exception. This is my class, na test class. I can customize it. I can modify it as per my requirement. Tomorrow you are going to bank. In bank ATM, you are trying to withdraw 5,000, but itself in ATM there is 4,000. So it will give some exception, but in a user friendly way, in a customization way. Okay. So we are using throw keyword for hand over the exception by creating the exception object to JVM. Okay. Now, the next is throws. Try to understand. Then we will see both. In our code, if there is any checked exception, then we should handle either by try catch, either by try catch, or by throws keyword. What is mean by checked exception? Checked exception means which compiler come to know, okay, this is the exception. So we have to use try catch na. Similarly, either we have to use try catch or throws keyword. By this line, we can understand throws is used to handle checked exception. What is mean by checked exception? Which compilers know at compile time, but compiler don't know the exception, that is called unchecked exception, runtime exceptions. So, and if somebody is asking what is throw and throws, you should be able to answer, right? For throw is used for customization of exception. Throws is used for checked exception. Either we can handle the exception by try catch, or either we can handle the exception by throws keyword. Okay. Now try to observe. Okay. Now I am using one simple code. Try to understand. You don't know multi-threading. Okay. You don't know multi-threading, but it's fine. Only one line. Now, thread is also one class in multi-threading. You will come to know. And sleep is one method. Okay. I am using some millisecond. This is millisecond. Now, guys, tell me what is the exception here? What is showing? Handle the exception. There may be chance of exception. That's why compiler is telling us this is called checked exception, because compiler is telling you have to handle this. So either we have two options, either use try catch or either use throws. Let me use try catch. Perfectly fine. It is in IO exception, interrupt exception. That's why it is coming. This is one way, right? Can I remove this? Control Z. What is the next step? How we can handle? Using throws. See, in this way, we are able to what we are trying to do, guys. What we are trying to do in this? What is mean by throws? Throw is nothing. Throw is nothing but delegating the exception to the caller. Now tell me, guys. Now tell me, guys, who is calling this main method? JVM is calling main method. Who is calling main method? JVM calling main method. So what we are doing, we are using throws, interrupt exception, and we are giving it to caller. By using this line, we are delegating this exception to caller. Other than this, let me show you one example. Okay, this is one main method. This is one method M1. No problem, right? Okay. Let me give void. Okay. Can I use M2 method also? Try to observe. Try to observe what I am trying to do. Can I use M2 method? No problem. Can I use M3 method? No problem. Okay. Try to observe. In M3, can I call M2? Perfectly fine, right? In M2, can I call M1? This is also perfectly fine. Okay. Now try to understand. Now try to understand. I am using here thread dot slip something. Some millisecond I am giving. Here I am giving. Now try to understand. M1. I am calling this M1. How I can call method? This is static method. So static region, right? Test dot M1, right? Now, sorry. This is instance method, na? Instance method. How I can call this? Test t equal to new test. T dot M1. Format it. Control Shift F. Try to observe. Add throws declaration. But error here also, right? Try to understand what I'm trying to explain you. I'm removing. Try to observe who is the caller of M1, who is calling M1, who is calling M1, and who is calling M1. M1 is called by main method. So let me add throw keyword here. Throws IO exception. If it is not coming, okay, no problem. Automatically it will come. Add throws declaration. Now, interrupted exception I handle for this method. Now tell me, M1. Okay, no problem. Let me give you M3 here. It is also not required also. Okay, not required. Now tell me, who is calling M1, guys? M2 is calling, right? M2 is calling. Means who is the caller for M1? M2. In M1, we have throw the exception. But here also calling, na, here it is giving error. So caller also we have to handle the exception. Now, we have explained JVM, okay. M1 is called by M2. Now try to, I am doing undo. Again, try to observe. Any exception in M2 in this block? No. Any exception here? Error is coming? No. Because I handle the exception using throw keyword. Throw means who is calling me, throw this exception to that caller. Who is calling M1? M2 is calling. So now, let me handle this to caller also. Perfectly fine. Here also exception is handled. But now, who is calling M2? Who is calling M2? M2 is called by M3. M2 is called by M3. Try to observe. Can I handle this exception here also? Yes. Perfectly fine. Now, error here. Who is calling M3? main method. So that's why exception is here. Now try to understand. Give me a all are handled, right? So delegating the exception, transferring the exception to caller. Exception, there is a chance of exception in method 1. But who is calling method 2? Method 1 M2. So we have to use throw keyword to delegate this exception. But now, if this exception will come here, that will be transferred to M2. But M2 is calling by M3 method. So this exception should be called transfer to M3 also. So that's why M3 required the same exception. Now, who is calling M3? Main method. So now M3 is M3 is called by main method. So again, we are delegate using throws keyword for this particular interrupted exception. So that now tell me who is going to call main method? JVM. Means finally this throw exception, interrupted exception is going to pass, the exception to JVM. Till now you are good, right? So where we are using this throws keyword, either we can use try and catch, or either we can use throws to handle checked exception. Okay, till now you are good, right? Okay. These are the various example of exceptions, guys. Okay. Uh, all topic we have covered. Okay. So now the main exceptions what we are encounter in our day-to-day life and customization of exception. We'll see 1 minute. If somebody asks you what are the exception you are encountered, right? So you can say array index out of bound exception. These are common exceptions. Let me show you one program for this. Okay. Now remove this. Can we have main method? Yeah. Public static void main string args of array. ठीक है? Strings arc of array. Perfectly fine. Now, can I use when array here? You know, right? Array. Already we have so much example. This is one dimensional array equal to new. What is the size I am giving? What is the size I am giving? Let's say I am giving size 5. I am giving some size 5. Now try to understand. I want to print this. Trying to understand the example for array out of bound index. System.out.println. I want to print first index. What is the array name? X. Run. 0. What is the size of array? Only 5. Can I use 4? Perfectly fine. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is also fine. It is holding no value. But can I use more than that size? Array index out of bound exception, because the how much it is 5. So we can use only 5 na 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But because we are crossing the range, we are getting this exception. Okay? This array out of bound index exception. Array index out of bound exception. So when we are getting such exception during working with arrays, okay? Now, null pointer exception. Null pointer exception. Now, come here. Can I remove this? some value is null. Let me take string s equal to null. Some data is coming from database. Okay, and I am trying to check that data. Let's say I'm using system dot out dot println. ठीक है, println. Okay, can I use s dot length? Just let me give some string hello. If value is there, perfectly fine. You can able to run this program. It is having 5 character. But if I am using null, try to understand. Valid case and invalid case. Now, what is coming, guys? Null pointer exception. If you are trying to use some, so you have to handle this null pointer exception. So means in this situation, if some data is coming with null, that time this type of exception is raised. We have stack overflow. Stack overflow error. This is error, right? Nested calling of method. Okay, let me have one method. Can I have one method m1? Its return type, let's say void, format it. Can I call this method? Copy this, paste. Let me copy this, make it m2, make this method m3. Okay, now I, two method is enough for this example. When I am calling m2, okay, and here I am calling m1. Okay, in this case, what will happen? Let me call here m1. How to create call m1? Test t equal to new test, as this method are instance method. Okay, so I need to call using object reference. Run as Java application. See what is coming? Stack overflow, right? Because we are using RAM na. At certain point it will run successfully when the data will be full at RAM level, right? So it is a recursive call na. So that's why stack overflow means now it is fine. It is full, right? So this is what's example of stack overflow. Now you remember, right? Every Java class I am creating test.java. Its irrespective test.class file is created, right? So whenever we are not finding this dot class, in such situation, one exception will arise. That exception is no class def found error. When for particular Java class, a dot class file is missing, that case you will find this exception. Error. ठीक है? No. Class cast exception. Class cast exception. ठीक है? No. Try to observe. Try to observe. Let me remove this. Try to understand. String s equal to okay. String x equal to okay. This is fine, right? No. I want to convert string into object. This s into, I want to hold this s into what? Object. Object O. That I need to do casting, na type casting I need to do, right? So I can use object, right? I need to do this type of typecasting, you know, right? Okay. Now, let me copy this, remove this space. paste this statement here. Okay, can I run this program? No problem, nothing, no exception, right? Can we reverse this just now? Can I reverse this? Can I reverse this? Let me. String into upper. String is child. Child to parent is fine. Can I create object O equal to new object? Now parent to child. Delete, delete this line and delete this line. Now I want to convert this O into string. So I need to have one variable. I need to do typecasting here. For that, which type? Into string. So that type I need to mention here. Is it possible? Can I run this? What is coming? Java lang class cast exception. Object cannot be cast to string. This is parent. This is child. Means this is superior. This is not superior. So in such situation, like if you are converting float to int, not possible. ठीक है? Lower to higher possible, but higher to lower not possible. So these are the guys exceptions, okay, which are coming. You can explain whenever you are explaining in your projects. You can explain this type of exception we have encountered. Okay. Now I'm stopping my screen share. So today we have completed our exception handling. Now tomorrow onwards, either we will start multi-threading or jar.lang package. Okay. I'm stopping the recording, guys.